afternoon, everyone. Hi. Can we start our session today? Right, good. Hopefully, I don't know if everyone's fasting today or okay, still okay. Yeah. Alright, good. Alright, so as been informed previously, today we will have like a guest lectures. Yeah, as informed, I think that's this one. Yeah, we already set up week 7 as a guest lectures, right? And today we have a guest lectures from yeah. Well, meanwhile, we're waiting for the to join. Like this morning, so most likely because after lunch, maybe it's still sleeping somewhere. Okay, that's right. Okay, so before we know, today's topic is actually related with the integrating exercise into web application. So basically, the topic was actually will introduce you some AI perspective and how to implement it into web. Yeah. And hopefully it can cover from the industry perspective. So please open your mind, yeah, and empty your place to absorb all information discussed today by okay, let me read summary of the lecture today. Hello. Hey, so okay, so the profile of Victor Wisona or the lecture today, you can in detail through the LinkedIn, yeah, and if you see here, he has like a lot of experience, working experience, and was on the time overseas, yeah, currently from Singapore, previously in Melbourne also, yeah. So Victor is the software architect and maintainer, yeah, with over a decade of experience, yeah, so it means a lot of experience that you can accommodate, yeah, and currently he becomes a principal architect, yeah, in Singapore. He was also working as a solution architect, as a data engineering manager, senior data engineers, yeah, desktop engineers, yeah, and so on. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I cannot read it one by one. It would take too long. But majority of the company is in Singapore. Yeah, maybe later Victor will explain more details. Yeah. He is graduate from National University, similar like me. Yeah, so that's why I know him. And yeah. But still, there's a lot of technical skill on AI, on professional data, cloud, and then operational agile. Yeah. So based on this resume, wow, you will miss it really fun. Okay, so without further ado, as usual, yeah, well, you can take this session for like my usual session. So basically, Victor will delivering the material, yeah, and of course, anytime you have a question, you can raise your hand, yeah, and after that, after the presentation, we will also have some discussion. And please prepare a question if you have, yeah, so we will, yeah. All right, without further ado, I give time to Victor. Yeah, yes, thank you for to set up this.
Well, yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for taking the time. You know, it's after lunch time, so it's good to get you guys coming along for the guest lecture. Yeah, as you know, Professor Agus was mentioning, so Yeah, my name is Victor, and yeah, I'm currently working at a software consultancy called Binus, based in Singapore, and yeah, I mostly deal. My specialty is in the area of data and infrastructure. So yeah, so anything that has got to do with data, data engineering, data analytics, and as well as the infrastructure side of things. Especially these days with AI and use. Yeah, so that's what I do with at work. So yeah, this guest lecture, yeah, I'll try to share some of the things that I've learned. Especially in regards to LLMs and AI services. Yeah, especially because the field is moving very fast, and I think it would be good for you to know what is being used out there in terms of all the AI services and LLMs, and how you can actually integrate this into your final project as well, which is your the help desk application that we're right? So today's session is very interactive. I've got a few quizzes, and the quizzes have got prizes. So you see, I've got three pairs of movie tickets. Wow! 3 pairs of movie tickets from CGV. You can go to any CGV on any day, and this is so you will. So I hope you. Because the quizzes are not easy, it's not easy, but there is a prize. So you see, let's see how it goes then. All right.
So good, yeah. You have like a highest level of quiz, yeah. So if you compare to my quiz, they will compare to it.
No, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Well, we'll see. Okay. So yeah, so pay attention. When you pay attention, you will know how to do the quiz. You pay attention, right? So what are we learning today? So today we'll learn what is an LLM. By the way, LLM stands for Large Language Model. I hope you guys are familiar with the concept. At least anybody here, just quick show of hands. Anybody here has used ChatGPT before? Please raise your hand. Okay, you've used. All right, very good. So everybody has used. Okay, so very familiar with LLM. So large language model is the language model that is powering AI services like ChatGPT and others. Later on, you will see things like Perplexity, Gemini, so on and so forth. Right? So we'll discuss what is an LLM, the LLM ecosystem, thinking models, and when to use them. Also, with LLM, there is this thing called tool use. So LLM can become sort of an agent that uses a certain tool like deep research, which is your internet research, Python interpreter, can do data analytics, plot artifacts. I will show you this in some sort of a demo. Vibe coding, anybody familiar with vibe coding? Raise your hand if you're familiar with vibe coding. Okay, not very many. Okay, so yes, familiar. Okay, but later on I'll show you what vibe coding is and how you can do vibe coding. Other modalities. So when you interact with LLMs, you only interact with in the form of text. Right? So it's text input, text output. But what if you want to do audio input and audio output, or text input and audio output? So how do you do that? So this is also one thing I will show, and also integrating LLMs into your web application. So and the last part will be a quiz. So you listen very carefully. When you do the quiz, you get prizes. All right. Now we'll start. What is an LLM? Right. So what is an LLM? So LLM stands for a large language model. So you imagine that. I'm sure you know a machine learning model. Machine learning model is a mathematical function, right? It's a large mathematical function that when you give it an input, it will, based on its training, it will give you back an output, right? So, for example, you can train a machine learning model with the historical stock prices, the historical stock prices of particular stock, let's say Apple. And then what you can do is to ask the model, hey, what do you think is the price of Apple tomorrow? Is the closing price of Apple tomorrow? Then the model, based on what it has learned, will try to give you some sort of a prediction, or even a weather prediction, right? So like, hey, you give the model the training data of all the weather data, and then the model can give you a prediction on, what is the weather going to be. Let's say this evening we're going to rain. So this is a machine learning model. Now, when you extrapolate this into a large language model, what is it there? So a large language model is similar to a machine learning model, but which is trained with data from the internet. You imagine it to be like a 1 terabyte lossy probabilistic zip file of the internet. So imagine that the zip file of the internet, you use it to train your model, right? And then and you use this. So you do this thing called the pre-training, which is very expensive, costs millions of dollars, $10 million, 3 months of training on internet documents. And then you need to do a post-training, the fine-tuning using symbol fine-tuning or other forms of fine-tuning. And then you will arrive at this model. So your conceptual understanding of a large language model should be that this is a large language model is a self-contained model. So you can even, if you want it, you can even run it anywhere. So it doesn't need the internet because it has already learned the internet. Doesn't need it. You might imagine, oh, ChatGPT, I need it. Yeah. So talk to ChatGPT, yes, you need the internet. But to talk to an LLM, you don't need the internet. ChatGPT is just an interface, right? So an LLM is self-contained. It's already there. You see, like how it is. If you ask ChatGPT to introduce itself, hi, I'm ChatGPT. I have a 1 terabyte zip file. So zip file is self-contained. My knowledge comes from the internet, which I did about 6 months ago, and remember only vaguely. So and then the personality was programmed by human labelers and pretty hard. So you see, so LLM conceptually is a self-contained, self-contained zip file, like a self-contained zip file in terms of analogy that has knowledge from the whole internet, right? So that's how it is. And how does ChatGPT allow for a conversation? So let's say you ask it, hey, why is the sky blue? And then ChatGPT will tell you, oh, the sky is blue because of yada yada yada. And then you ask it again, oh, but how come when during sunset the sky is orange? But you see, it knows about the conversation. It's because ChatGPT has got this thing called a context window. So it has this thing called a context window. And which actually for each of your token, you actually remember the context, right? So this is what the LLM is. If you want a little bit of a demo, you can actually see this, right? I'll show you a little bit of a demo. So for example, this is the tokenizer. So this is a tokenizer app that so basically your words is being why is the sky blue, for example, right? Why is the sky blue? So you can see that your words is being converted into tokens, and then so what the LLM does is the LLM is trying to predict what is the next token. So what is the answer for the next token for this, right? So words are being converted into tokens. So this is how it is being used on the backend. And then one tip you can use when using an LLM is when you want to start a new topic, you need to start a new chat. So that because the number of tokens that the LLM can retain in its context window is limited. So this is token is expensive, right? Context window space is expensive. So that's why you need those, when you want to start a new topic, you start a new chat with the LLM. Now, the LLM ecosystem. So what are the LLMs? So the OG incumbent, most popular LLM is ChatGPT, right? By OpenAI. So you can use ChatGPT into the. Have you guys used ChatGPT before? Show of hands. Can you raise your hand if you use? Oh yeah, I've already asked you. Everyone has used ChatGPT before. Very good. So what about, have you used this Google Gemini before? Anyone has used Google Gemini? Okay, a few hands. Very good.
Yeah, it kind of just automatically use it whenever I search.
And because of the phone, right? So yeah, when you search, you get you
on computer as well.
in the computer as well. Yes. But when you go to Google search, now straight away to Gemini. Yeah, very good. Very good. So Meta has got this thing called Meta AI. It is also integrated into your WhatsApp. Microsoft has got this thing called Copilot. And then you have startups like Perplexity, Claude, and Anthropic, so on and so forth. Now, and you have by XAI, Elon Musk is Grok. And then if you want to use the one is created by the Chinese programmers called DeepSeek, and the chat by Mistral in French. All right, so now this is the first quiz. So get ready with your get ready on your laptop. Get ready on the laptop. The price is a pair of movie tickets from CTV. Now ask your best friend.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, you can ask your best friend, CTV, whatever, Perplexity, Gemini, whichever one. Can you explain to me the meme here? Why is this an attempted murder? What happened?
Because the close to murder.
Okay.
What the group is called.
Yes, a group of crows is called a murder. Yeah. It's because, wow, very good, huh? What's your name? No? Okay, very good. You don't even need OpenAI. Oh, you saw the Instagram. Yeah, very lucky guy. Doesn't need to use ChatGPT, but don't worry. You have two more pairs of certificates. Yeah, so here a group of crow is called a murder. So that's why it's called this is an attempted murder. Okay, and the idea is this, right? That so what you can do with ChatGPT, if you were to use ChatGPT, is to I go to ChatGPT, for example, and what you can do is to actually simply take a screenshot very quickly because ChatGPT. So you see, ChatGPT doesn't just do, yeah. You see, explain the name, yeah. Yeah, so the name is a play on words using fun. The text concentrates attempted murder. The humor comes from the fact that a group of crow is called a murder. Okay, since there are only two crow in the image, it is an attempted murder rather than a complete one. Because there's only two crow in the image. So a group of crow is called the murder. Okay, so you can see that so this is how you check ChatGPT. Okay, not just text, but you can put the screenshot, all that stuff as well. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah. So the other thing I wanted to show you is also this thing called the LLM leaderboard. So you see that this the LLM leaderboard. So if you open this, yeah. So these are the leaderboard of the various LLMs, and if you see this leaderboard, for example, right? So the leaderboard is grouped by various evaluation criteria. So you can see that there is Okay, so the point here being that various different LLM models are good at different things. Okay, different models are good at different things. So, for example, some models are good at multimodal reasoning, and then some models are good at multi-turn conversation. So you can see here, if you want a model that can do exam, you know, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is very good at doing exam, visual language understanding, so on and so forth, right? So agentic tools for enterprise or for chat. So this is what the models are. With these are the models that are good for them. All right. Now the other thing is that you need to also understand that even within within the large language model themselves now, right? Just now I mentioned about different models are good at different things. Just now when we talk about LLM, we mentioned that hey, these are based on just groups of based on groups of documents. So these models are trained on documents. So they are not really able to do reasoning, right? So the models are not able, they are only predicting, hey, what is the next thing that's going to come? What is the next what is the next word that is going to come, right? But there are also this group of models called reasoning model, right? That is in addition to being pre-trained and post-trained, they also have this extra layer of reinforcement learning. So, this extra layer of reinforcement learning that enables it to somehow do a little bit of thinking. Okay, so and if you see here, I don't want to go too deep into this, but just thought you have to know this part, right? So if you go to ChatGPT, for example, now you see here that you see here that under ChatGPT there is the GPT-4o and all that, but you also have this O model, O1, O3 mini, O3 mini high, uses advanced reasoning. So these are models that can quote unquote think, because they have undergone a separate layer of training called reinforcement learning. Right? So this is so that's why later on when we discuss about vibe coding and using model to code, then you'll be able to see that if I want to debug certain things, you use the models that are good for reasoning in order to debug the code. Right? Okay. So LLM tool use. Now the other thing that that the LLM can do, right, is these days is that just now we mentioned that LLM is a self-contained thing, right? So it is already a trained model, and then now we mentioned that when you add another layer, the model becomes something that can reason because you add the reinforcement learning. Now, the LLM can also use tools like, for example, the internet can do a deep research, or it can even do Python interpreter, or it can even do data analytics based on. So the LLM can use tools in order to make itself more useful. Right? So I'm going to show you this, and then we will do another quiz. Okay, so you better pay attention. Huh? So I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you the simple part, and then you will show me the more advanced part. So for example, right, now if I want to do a Python interpreter, how do I activate the Python interpreter? So if I ask ChatGPT, what is 10 plus 10? Right? So ChatGPT will say, oh, very simple, this is only 20. Right? But now if I say, what is this number and this number. You see? So this one, it cannot do it by predicting the next one anymore, right? You see? So sensitivity will need to start to think, right? Okay, you see there is this thing. Okay, maybe this is still a bit too simple. So what about this? This multiplied by this. Okay, so you will see that. Okay, so now sensitivity is a bit okay, so now it has got to do analyzing and all that. But you see here, the view analysis here, you see, so behind the scene, sensitivity is not just relying on its own pre-trained knowledge, but it is using Python. It is actually executing a Python code, right? So, sensitivity is already programmed in such a way that, hey, if you see a very complex mathematical operation, use Python. Right? So, like this. Now, the interesting thing is also that now, if I say that I can ask ChatGPT to do, let's start a new one, right? So, give me the stock prices of Apple for the past 5 days, right? And plot them in a graph. Okay, well, so I'm giving feedback on the new version of GPT apparently. So you see there is one that is just so here I'm unable to fetch, however you can get okay, so no, I don't prefer it so far. So this is the however I can generate a graph for you. Let me know how you would like to proceed. So you see you can this is the last 5 days based on what it knows, or this one it is you can get from website. If you provide the closing prices for the past 5 days, I can generate a graph. Okay, so this is not what I like. So what I like is on the right hand side. Okay, so I prefer this response. Okay. So now what we want to do is okay, can you now try on your own ChatGPT to give me a predicted closing price of Apple for tomorrow? Can you give me and then can you ask ChatGPT to show us the code? How does it? And can you explain to us how ChatGPT does it? Okay, so try to get closing stock price of Apple tomorrow, and then explain to us how ChatGPT does it. One pair of movie tickets. Okay, please try on your ChatGPT. Try on your ChatGPT console. Okay, try.
Okay, guys, you can use your phone or
use your laptop. Yes.
Yeah,
And then
right. Maybe it will be useful for you next time to when you play stock.
Yes. Okay. So, but most importantly, I want to hear your explanation. How do you think sensitivity does it? What actually happened behind the scene? Okay. Okay. John is right? Yes. Okay.
So it says that I think it took it from different websites. There's one that has the annual forecast. That's the stock price for tomorrow is approximately $216.
Okay, $216. Okay, it's okay. Getting there. It's okay. So it is $216. Getting it from a forecast website. So okay, one way is to get it from a forecast website. Okay, it's one way to do it. I wouldn't say it's 100% right yet, but very good try. Very good try. So one way is to get it from a forecast website. Any other possible explanation on what happens if you ask ChatGPT to predict for you the stock price for tomorrow?
maybe you can also explain how you design the prompt in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can share how you write the prompt first, and then also share what is the result from the prompt.
Do you want to try? Yeah, please. How do you predict the stock price? Okay, what's the technique? Okay, yeah. How does ChatGPT do it?
I think it is like a combination between the like. So
Okay, very interesting, very good. You are on the right track.
for the fundamentals, usually they use like a sentiment.
Okay.
They get the data from first website and get the sentiment.
Yeah.
And after that, for the technical, they usually use like LSTM.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can use LSTM.
And for very like we do it like from technical website, which is like the core technical website that you can board. So I think it's combination with understand sentiment and also for like the core technical website. So it's combination.
Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, it's a very good answer. Okay, I think I will. Yes, this is about the correct answer. This is what I want. So, congratulations. What's your name? Ricky. Congratulations, Ricky. Yes, very good. Okay, so if you try to ask ChatGPT, right, how to predict the next day's stock price, it is precisely what you said. So, number one, you can do a qualitative analysis of an analysis based on fundamentals, things like how the company is performing, what the news is about the company, but also what ChatGPT will do behind the scene is also using simple machine learning techniques like LSTM, SDF, even just linear trend lines. So this kind of stuff. So and what I'm trying to tell you is that ChatGPT has this ability to use tools like and also like other websites, like what she said just now about other websites. So so ChatGPT has got the ability to use other tools like other websites, machine learning, Python libraries, and also qualitative analysis in order to create an answer for you. So this is the tool used with LLMs. Okay. So yeah, just to give you a bit of a demo, right? So if I say create a, so for example using the Apple stocks, right? So create a trend line graph and use linear regression to predict tomorrow's closing stock price. Show the Python code as well. So you see, so you can use this things like this to you can use the ChatGPT like this to create a trend line graph, and then it will show you all these things. Okay, so you see here, this is the closing price. So estimated will be 20. It will be 209 based on usage. So this is the Python code that is being used for this analysis. Okay, so this is all I'm saying. You can use this for in your LLMs as well. The other one which I wanted to show you is also this part. If you use Claude, there is this thing called Claude artifacts. Right? So just now I was giving it, so I created, I copied and pasted this this information from about Adam Smith. Adam Smith is an economist. So I copied and pasted information about Adam Smith. You see, so here they have all this info, right? Okay. Let's get it here. And what I can do is I can actually paste all of these things, and I can say create an NT style flashcard with 10 questions based on the information I pasted on. You see here. Now, yeah, so we will create the so you see Adam Smith NT flashcard. When is this? So now what I can do is also I can actually say create a React app, create a web app, let's say a web app of this flashcard that can hide and show the answers to the questions. You see, okay, so you see now it's trying to create a web app, doing all of that things, and yeah, and you see the nice thing is, you see it can create the web app for you. You can even do a click to open website. So let's see if I click to open website. Or so I can close this. Click to open website here. So you see, it will even do the parts of the nice interactive form. So this is tool use. So you can see that you can actually your LLM can actually now use Python, use React. It can search the web. It can can do very many things. It's not just a self-contained large language model, but a model that can almost become this thing called an agent, right? Because an agent is able to manipulate a tool in order to achieve its objective. So it becomes an agent, right? That's why it's called an agentic model. All right. So and this is another example. Deep research. So you can use in this particular case Gemini, Google Gemini, and you can actually ask it a question. For example, explain Evo 2, which is a foundational. So what it does is it goes to the internet. It tries to explain and give you the steps. All right. Now this is another fun thing we can do. Vibe coding. So vibe coding, not very many of you are familiar with vibe coding. So this is a term popularized by Andrej Karpathy. Anybody knows who is Andrej Karpathy? Nobody? Okay. So Andrej Karpathy is head of AI at Tesla. So he's the one who created the Tesla self-driving. And basically what he's saying is that, well, at some stage in the future, we won't be using code in order to program anymore, right? So, the most popular programming language would be English. And so you can use things like Cursor AI or Windsurf in order to do this. Anybody familiar with Cursor AI? Okay, so you're familiar with Cursor, very good. Okay, but the rest of you are not very familiar. So have a look. So if you Cursor AI is okay, I'll zoom out. Cursor AI is is a fork of Visual Studio Code. But what they have done is that they have actually created this thing called the composer. Right? They have actually created this thing called the composer in order to they can help you to write code. And the good thing about this is that because Cursor AI knows all the files that are in your directory, so it uses this. So it takes in all the files as context for your application. So you see, so for example, here, right? So I can here you see what I have. I was just chatting with Cursor AI. Here you can see that you see at the top. Oh, create a basic React app using the latest version of React. So, or you know, maybe instead of that, I will start with a blank canvas, right? So I'll start blank. I'll quit Cursor. So let's say I go into this. Okay, so I have this tic-tac-toe folder. So now I will delete the tic-tac-toe folder, right? And what we can do. Okay, so I have already deleted the tic-tac-toe folder. So now I create another tic-tac-toe folder, and okay, so I go into Cursor. Okay, so you see I start with an empty folder, right? But what I can do is I go into composer mode and I go into the agent mode here, and then I say create a React app using the latest version of React. Right, so now I say submit. So yeah, so this is where you see your knowledge of models come in, right? Just now we were talking about which model is good for what, right? Now this is where it comes in. So for example, if I want to use the 3.7 Sonnet, but so you know that the O model are good at reasoning, but other than that, generally the Claude model is also very good. So if I say that, okay, agent mode, and then I say submit. So now you see it's trying to create the React application, right? So, and it's quite smart. So it's using the MTX okay to proceed. So if I pop out the terminal, I say yes. Okay, so it will create the tic-tac-toe for me. You see, okay to proceed. Pop out the terminal, yes. Okay. Yeah, so you see here, yeah, so, and yeah, so npm install stuff, blah, blah, blah. And you see what happens. Come on, man. The override. You see, so I haven't created a thing yet. Let's install additional dependencies. Okay, whatever they want. Right. Script configuration file. So you see, it's actually not easy to bootstrap. It's not easy to bootstrap a front end, but you can see how Cursor, using this thing called Composer, and it's all free, guys. So you can always download. You can download Cursor. You see, it's actually creating all of this stuff by itself. So you see, because when you use front end, you need to test. You need to write it in TypeScript and then CSS and all of that thing. So you see here, accept all checkpoint creator. Let's create the necessary CSS files. You see, it's generating a lot of stuff. Yeah, see, it's generating a lot of stuff, and eventually, when it's done, we can actually see the actual app actually. So you now create the HTML file that serves as the entry point. Okay, I say accept. Now create a simple README file for our project. So you see how it starts from scratch, right? Accept. Create a basic git ignore file for the project. Wow, it's quite a lot. Yeah, it's doing quite a lot. There's icon, public directory, okay. So as you see here that all I'm doing is just run the command, and finally let's start the application. Okay, let's run the command. Oh no, error, man. Okay, so let's see if I can still go into the browser. Oh no, this is not right. Oh, no. It's make it up now. Oh well, so you can see here that so there is no such thing as a file on directory. So you can see here that it is not easy to. It is actually quite dangerous to actually start your application like this. But anyway, okay. So if I go into this and we have a start, this is the file. That is the JSON file. Oh. Yeah. So you need to know a little bit of npm to do this. So npm start minus p301, for example. So it's okay. 3000 start now. You guys. But anyway, so you see that yeah, so you cannot rely 100% on this very beautiful model to create to write your code, but you can see that it has actually helped you write a lot of stuff. So like this, for example, right? So it has helped you to write the app, the ext texto, and so on and so forth. So you can actually see how it's going there. Okay, when I'm let's see if I cannot start the web server. That'll be what? I'm supported for it's looking for a server. You need to navigate into this. On this of the 3000. Yes. Okay, now what about this? Start the page on global on what 3000.
How about because it is the spike, can you run in the game and npm run that?
Yeah.
So the default spot is in 3000. For the spike is showing up to 60,000.
Yeah, no, because 3000, I already have Grafana. So okay, so let's see. I think it has already changed it to 3001. So now when I do the yeah, so you see this count is 0, count is 1, So yeah. And then you can actually, change it to say, now modify the app to become a tic-tac-toe app with X and O as status. So you can modify the app, and what it does is, it will create a board and so on and so forth, and it will actually modify the thing. So this is called vibe coding. So people ask you about, do you know vibe coding? Yeah, this is basically vibe coding. So you don't actually write the code, but you write a prompt that allows the LLM to generate the code. Right? So this is what it is. So you can see here. Okay, I can go to it. Okay, so there is a game board, there is a game logic, and so on and so forth, reset functionality, a button that allows. So you see, I never even mentioned about the reset functionality, but the model kind of know that hey, these guys they need a reset functionality. So you see now it's fully implemented. I can go there by you see, so I have this now X and so you can. Okay, so the winner is X. So now I can restart the game. So you see a zero code starting from scratch, and you can actually use vibe coding to get the LLM to write the code for you. But of course, as we also saw just now, you need to know the fundamentals, and that's why you guys are in university, and that's why it's best for you to know what is actually going on before you do any vibe coding, right? So you need to know what's going on. You need to know how to read the code, what was happening, the code was being used, what is the error message, and so on and so forth. All right, so
okay, maybe if I can interrupt you.
Yeah, please.
Okay, maybe you now regret about these case lectures. Why these case lectures not coming earlier a week because this kind of stuff it can help you for the week 5 to do assignments. Yeah. Okay, but I would like you to well, of course this is a good thing, but it be similar like when you're using a knife. Yeah. I think like something like this is like knife, yeah. So when you can utilize knife properly, it can help you to cook, right? But if you not be careful, yeah, when you use a knife, it can hurt yourself, right? I know the what you call the parts programming.
Yeah, vibe coding.
Vibe coding is actually a good approach, yeah. And you can imagine that now you don't have to stay overnight to code, or like for example spend like a whole day to create like a simple application, right? Yeah, so that's a good thing. But the danger is if you not be careful, because like you see, like what Pak already shared to you, right? The AI can create application without involvement of yourself. You're not even doing a tool. So it means other people that doesn't have the knowledge can also do the same. Yeah. So it means in the future there's possibilities that maybe people doesn't really need a software engineer or programming to create it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what is make difference? So sorry, I interrupt your process.
No worries.
So what is make different? Why you need to still learn about computer science then if you know that in the future maybe people doesn't really require to learn about programming? Why you need to still to learn about the code of programming? Anyone want to share the thought? Do you afraid or scared with this demo? No?
I really I think it's programs usually need to be more specific. I doubt that AI can actually just for an example, like around last semester I was told to make like a crossword puzzle for a project and I tried putting it into ChatGPT and was very, very bad.
Yeah, but now well, maybe ChatGPT is for general purpose, yeah. But now what marketers actually show it to you using results, actually it can help to generate even the React, right? The framework, not only the basic programming language anymore. And you can see Victor just create the TikTok games just for a couple minutes without even doing any food like himself.
And I will see how good it is when I put the saving from it. Let's see if the crossword puzzle is still very, very important.
Okay, good. Well, that's a good thing to try on. But I would like, before Victor continues to explain the topic, I would like you to think about it, yeah, and then you need to know the reason why you still need to learn about the harvesting, because by knowing we have this kind of technology, maybe you will rely on it in the future, right?
Yeah, and in fact, this is something you can also discuss in your assignment, right? Your essay, right? So we learned about vibe coding, but hey, why do we still need to learn things the hard way, quote unquote the hard way, when computers are able to code like this now? So but of course, differing requirements, bugs, finding out bugs and so on. You still need to know how to read, at least to read code, right? So that you can and to understand the fundamentals. So like just now there is a port error, so you can still debug coding and so on and so forth, right? So this thing is very important.
Yeah, thank you for that. You can continue.
Yo, sure. No problem, bro. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to show you guys, in regards to LLM is also that other modalities, right? So LLMs are not just restricted to, we have been talking about text input and text output, but what you can do is also, things like audio input, audio output. You can even do podcast generation using notebook LM and image input, image output, video input and video output. So, let me show you one, which is the notebook LM podcast generation, and this can be very useful for you, right? So, if I go into the notebook LM page, you see, so for example, here I have actually added this paper, right? So this is the paper about genome modeling and design with Evo2, which is a new foundational model for the purpose of DNA sequencing. But if you see here, I'm not a biologist. This is a very highly technical paper. I cannot read the paper. If I read it just like this, I will get lost. So what do I do? You go into this thing by Google called Notebook LM. And what you can do is that Notebook LM can actually create a podcast. Based on the paper that you give it. So for example, like this, you upload the paper, and then you see it can actually create a podcast. So you can see it. I'll play it for you, the podcast.
All right, so get ready for a deep dive into the world of biology, but like with a really cool twist, we're throwing some serious AI into the mix. Today we're going to explore how AI is like totally changing the game in the field of biology.
Yeah, it's not even just changing, it's like causing a full-blown revolution. And right at the heart of it is this thing called Evo2. It's not just like smart. It's been trained on an unbelievable amount of genetic data.
We're talking everything from the smallest bacteria to humans.
Yeah.
And even those tricky viruses. So Evo2 isn't like a one-trick pony or anything. It's not just limited to one very specific task.
Exactly. What's called a generalist, it can do things like predict the effects of mutations on genes, but it can also do something like really mind-blowing to actually generate completely new DNA sequences.
I love DNA sequences. Those are code of life, right? Like these instructions is how our body will operate.
You see? So what the guy just now was saying was, hold up about DNA sequences, right? So he said, and then he said, and then he rephrased it into something that is more friendly to somebody who is not a biologist, right? So what is DNA sequences? DNA sequence is simply the sequence of instruction that is being given to any living organism so that they know how to operate in life, right? So, and how does that come about? So that came about because of this. So if I create a new one, and you see I upload the source, right? So I go into this papers and I go into this. You see what you can do. So after uploading the course, after uploading the source, right, which is the paper itself, what you can do is you can actually customize. So like just now you didn't see the process, but now I'll show you the process. So you see here, so I can actually customize, and I can actually say, you see, so this is the deep dive conversation. I can actually say, I'm not a biologist, so explain to me in a beginner friendly, manner that anyone can understand. So you can actually do this. So even the podcast that is being generated can actually be customized. So you see, okay, so this, it will take some time, but it will generate the conversation. And what it does is, things like that just now. So it doesn't throw you, terminology that you may not understand. So instead, it will actually explain to you that, hey, this is what it means, this is what it means, this is what it means. All right?
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So it means you can use material from Zanus class, which is very hard to understand, and then put it in here, so you will have like additional resource to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can use any material from biology, physics, chemistry. If you are curious about a certain thing, you can always and you can always listen to the podcast, while at the gym or going for a walk or going for a jog, so in a more relaxed environment instead of reading through the paper, right? So this is how LLMs can be very useful as well, right? Okay. Yeah. So you can use so this is one way you do it. Using it can generate podcasts for you, but the other way is you can use for example, I'll show you about this the audio part, right? The audio part. So I'll just quickly turn on Wi-Fi and okay. So if you have Grok app on your phone, if you have or you can try later on. You can download the Grok app on your phone. Yeah. So you can see that Grok actually accept audio input on your phone. And if you see on the top right, there is actually different modes. Like for example, I'm not a doctor, not a therapist, romantic, motivation, argumentative. So things like this. So you can actually use you can actually try it on your own later on. But maybe I'll quickly demo to you. So if I say if I use the argumentative, let's try I'll use argumentative for example, right? So hello. You see, so it's actually okay. So I'm using it. So you see, so it's actually being very argumentative. Right? Why is the sky blue? Okay, so you see, like, it's even, it's even quite insulting. Like, why do you even care about something so basic? Okay, so now, but if I go into the motivation, sorry, give me motivation to start exercising. Okay, so, yeah, so it's so it's really funny. So it's yeah. So you can give a motivation, and it can give you a why you're sitting on your ass, and because you got a beast inside you, and wake it up. All right, very good. So all I'm saying to you is that text to text is not the only way you do things. You can always do things using audio, using and in fact, what I'm going to show you is also you see text to video generation. So you can see that. You see, so for example, this is a prompt. You give it a prompt. A person stands in a bright, airy room, bathed in soft natural light, streaming through a lunch, and you see this person has actually gone through the various text to video models in order to generate the video. So, like, as you can see, here there's Adobe Firefly, Osmion, and then Ika. So these are the different video generating models in order to generate the video. Okay, runway entry and so on and so forth, right? Okay. All right. Now, this is well, I only have one left, but anyway, let's see if you can. So now we have learned about all this. We have learned about LLMs and what LLMs can do. Now, can you think it through? These three. Can you think through these three questions? And well, yeah, this is a bit hard, but if you can answer all three questions, you get a pair of movie tickets. Okay, so number one, now how do we integrate AI services like ChatGPT into our web application? So now you create the web application, right? How do we integrate with ChatGPT? So that's the first question. The second question, should the integration be done on the front end or the back end, and why? And then, how do you add your own context when you integrate with LLM? So, try to think it through. I give you 2-3 minutes. Think through, and when you have when you want to attempt, I don't think you need to get everything right, but at least if you have a good attempt, we have a pair of movie tickets from TGV for you. Okay, so okay, so you guys try, or even ask ChatGPT if you want. How do you integrate with ChatGPT? Okay, guys, you want to try? Okay, I'll give you the next 3 minutes, and then we'll take a look at the answer. Anybody want to make an attempt? You want to make an attempt? All right. Okay. Let's. Sorry. What's your name again? Almira. Okay. Let's hear it from Almira. So how do we integrate AI services like ChatGPT into our web application? Yeah. Okay. Very good. So you can use the ChatGPT API. So if you see here, so OpenAI has got an API. Right? So it even okay, sorry. So this is so it even it can even take in audio. So audio and text. Yeah. So very good. Use the API, and then should the integration be on the front end or the back end, and why? Okay. What's the consideration?
The consideration is that whether you want to use it or you want it to look good or if you want it to be good. Because I think for us right now we're doing a healthcare system and we wanted to implement an AI. So for that kind of AI, then we wouldn't need it to be able to keep analysis like computation. We just want it to be able to respond. So
Okay.
something like that would be more front end, but then maybe the back end. If we put it in the back end, then it would be something like the things that you said, where then it would be able to do calculation, analysis, and provide something more.
Okay. I mean, like, okay, well, that's one way to think about it. Can you think of one more reason why something needs to be on the back end instead of the front end? Think through, like, in the front end, what can a person do with the browser that you cannot see with the back end? Yeah, security. Okay, go on. What happened with security? What can you do? What can I do with the browser that I cannot see on the back end? With the browser, what can I do? In fact, yes. So things like tokens and stuff is quite dangerous. Okay, so yeah, so you can. So this is also another consideration. Okay, use the backend. Okay, what's the after this? I'll explain in detail. What about the third one? How do you add your own context?
I was just thinking like basically like if you're creating your own AI, that means I would have to control the prompt and if it gives an answer, if I wanted to answer that way, then I would say, okay, that's the answer. But if it doesn't answer the way, then I would tell it again to answer it the way that it
Okay, that's one way to think about it. But what about if it's already, if I want to use something that is already there? Let's say ChatGPT, but I want ChatGPT to know that, for example, if I am a help desk of a bank, now I want ChatGPT to know that the bank only open Monday to Friday. How do you tell ChatGPT that?
That means I just answer that as a prompt and it'll remember it.
Correct. Yes. As simple as that. So congratulations, Amira. Yes, very good. So that is it's not very complex. It's deceivingly the question seems complex, but it's not. So how do you integrate? Of course, we use the API, right? So but just now, we saw OpenAI API is actually quite expensive, about $15 for every some million tokens. But you can use DeepSeek. DeepSeek is the cheapest API in the market at the moment. So you can use DeepSeek. So what about integration? Should it be on the front end? Should it be on the back end? So you know that when you integrate with an API, they always ask you for an API token. Right? They always ask you for an API token or password. Right? So like what we discussed just now with Amira is that on the front end, like this, what I can do is I can do an inspect, and you see now all my sources are all out the door. You see all my sources, even the if you are not using proper obfuscating of the code or minimization of the code, you may even put your API token inside the code. And people can actually, everybody in the whole world will actually see your API token. So things like this is a consideration, and that's why think it through. Put it on the back end, or if you want to put it on the front end, make sure you have very good code. I think there's an Amplify or minify, obfuscate the code so that your API token is not being seen, right? So, and how do you add context when you integrate with LLMs, right? How do you add context when you integrate with LLMs? It's simple, okay? The way you add context when you integrate with LLM is by telling it in a prompt. Is by telling it in a prompt, as simple as that. So you say, so for example, ChatGPT, right? You can say, this is the scenario. You are a bank help desk agent. The bank opens Mondays to Friday from 9 a.m. to our bank interest rate is 15% at the so you can actually enter this as a prompt, right? So okay, then and then what happened is, now for example, if I'm a user, is the bank open on Sunday? So you see now that so no, our bank is closed on Sunday. We open Monday to Friday 9 p.m. or 6 p.m. So what you can do in your web app is to actually put this part, the scenario part, as a system prompt. They call it a system prompt, where that's your web application telling ChatGPT, this is the information about me. I'm a bank operator, blah 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 blah. And then when you open it up to the user starts from here. The user starts asking a question. But this part the user doesn't need to see. This part is behind the scene. Your backend will tell OpenAI that, hey, for this session, this is the scenario, blah 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 blah. Our bank industry is this. So you can ask it. I want to make the deposit. What's your interest rate? So you can see. So this is what the user will say. You see, our current interest rate is this. You can make this. And you see, when you tell OpenAI to be a bank help desk agent, it's actually becoming more useful. You can make any deposit anytime during our business hours. Let me know if you need any help with anything else. So you see, even the personality of OpenAI, you have some control over the personality of OpenAI, right? Of ChatGPT. So this is what you can do in your web application, right? This is what you can do with the context. Okay, very good. Now, I have a last quiz, but I don't have a notification anymore. So this is what are some of the security considerations then? So this is without a prize, but maybe if you want to make an attempt, what are some of the security considerations when you want to integrate your web application with the LLMs like ChatGPT and so on? So let us know. What's your thoughts? Anyone? Security consideration. What are the security considerations? No price, but important to discuss. Anyone? Security consideration? Okay, maybe someone from this table. What are some of the security considerations? Yeah, okay. So some data can get leaked, right? So you need to understand that when you interact with OpenAI, you are actually interacting with the internet, right? Everything is happening in public domain. Everything flows through the internet. So you need to make sure that when your users are entering, they don't enter bank account information, for example. into your web application, which is going to the internet. Anything else? Any other security consideration? Somebody? When integrating with web application? Yeah?
Maybe people usually API key.
Okay, yeah.
Usually people put the dependency and the function. OpenAI usually put the function and the API key. And to consider the security, usually we put the API key on the .env.
Into the ENV file. Yes. Yeah. So you can use the yes. So yeah. So API token is very important. Okay. And yeah, API token is very important. So that's why just now we discussed, right? So your API token should be hidden. It should not. It should be in the ENV file. Let's say on the back end. That's more simple, right? So and the other thing which I want to highlight is authentication. Okay, is also very important. So if you want to create a web application integrating with AI that encapsulate a certain amount of personal data, that deals with personal data, then you need to put it behind some sort of user authentication, either password or authenticate by email or Firebase, so that at least there is some sort of user authentication. Not everybody can. Not everybody can. People have to be authenticated. You know who is using it. So that it doesn't get exploited. Okay, so this is the integration with LLMs. Yeah. So what have we learned? So we learned about we learned about LLMs, what we for what LLM is, and then the LLM ecosystem. We learned about thinking models, models and reasoning models, and when to use them. We learn about the tool use, deep research, Python interpreter, data analysis, slot artifacts, live coding, other modalities, especially notebook LM, audio input and audio output, right, and then text to video, and also how to integrate. What are some of the things you can consider when integrating LLMs into your web application. So so as a reference, you can check out this Andre Karpati YouTube video. We call it How I Use LLM. And it basically talks about whatever we discussed just now. And that's it. So if you have any, now we can use the rest of the time, maybe the next 5-10 minutes for questions. And feel free if you want to get in touch with me. Just now you can add me on LinkedIn. We can talk on X or email or whatever it is you're comfortable. On LinkedIn you can add me. You can send a message. So feel free to ask if you have any questions. And so do you guys have any questions now? Any comments, questions, whatever it is you want to discuss? Maybe related to your final project. Any questions?
Any questions, guys? Any questions? Okay.
Yes.
Would it be possible? Would it be like? Is it even possible to train one of the large language? It's not possible to train a large language model by myself alone. Yeah, not possible.
Yeah. So it is very difficult. So if you want, so there's this thing called the foundational model, which is the basis of all the model. The foundational model is very expensive to train because, as you can see just now, when we talk about large language model, right? So the LLM, you see the pre-training, it costs $10 million. You see, the pre-training of this LLM costs $10 million and over 3 months. So it's very difficult to train a foundational model. But what we can do is to actually fine-tune a foundational model with our own information. So that is, so you can run the last epoch of training of an LLM, so you fine-tune the model with your own information. That can be possible. But even that is still costing, some thousands of dollars. It's not It's not $10 million, but it's costing some thousands of dollars because you get unique GPUs and all of that stuff. So yeah. So generally like this, yeah. If you want to train your own foundational model, a little bit more difficult, much more difficult. But if you want to fine tune, very much possible. Yeah.
Is it possible to learn something? Well, okay, that doesn't have to be to the scale of something like a large language model. Like, is it possible to learn something similar to it that can like give me accuracy? Like, it doesn't have to be up to scale. Just something trained on data that can give me accuracy similar to this.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, you know, our traditional deep learning model, you know, your traditional deep learning models, your neural nets and all of this, it can be trained using using your own laptop even. Even if you have a GPU on your laptop, I mean, it depends on what GPU you have. If you have a 3070, you know, RTX 3070 or 4090, you can train a small deep learning model, right? They can yeah, they can actually spit out some sort of prediction depending on how to train it. Yeah, so yeah, you can train a small, I mean, not a large language. This one is not a large language model, not an LLM. You cannot train an LLM by yourself. But what you can do is a small deep learning model. You can train it on your own. You can train it on your own hardware. In fact, I would say that you should try it. You should try training your own small deep learning model. Train a small deep learning model, and then try it by yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe if I can add, you can also use like alternative, like for example, you can download your LLM model and then use like your LLM Studio to run locally, and then you can like we're giving a context to the model, so you can learn locally. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. Second question?
Yeah, Almira.
If you have any recommendations of use AI that we can create into our roadmap?
Yeah.
That's my question.
So yeah, so the free AI, so the cheapest one right now is DeepSeek. API pricing. So yeah, so DeepSeek, yeah, so DeepSeek has got yeah, so it's really really cheap. So you see here's boy is number there. It's almost free. Let me see if Perplexity API. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so you have. So you see, you can even do okay, but you need to be you need to be a Perplexity Pro subscriber. So you have but Perplexity Pro subscriber is usually a $20 month. But yeah, $5 is monthly credit to do it. So I don't think there's anything free at the moment. Yeah, I don't think, unfortunately, there's nothing free at the moment, but the cheapest plan is DeepSeek.
Or like I said before, you can utilize the LM Studio.
Oh yeah, you can use the LM Studio.
Download the model like DeepSeek or Cloud, yeah, and then you can basically the LM Studio can help you to create the API, so you can access the model,
Yes.
yeah, locally, yeah.
Yeah. So there is this yeah, you can try run locally the LM Studio. Yeah. So for example, I'm sure there is one for Windows as well, but so this is running the open source models on your computer.
So it depends on the purpose of your final project, yeah. I think you can run locally, yeah, or in Binus network. So if you need to have like support for that, actually your lab coordinator already provide you with the LM Studio, which is only can be accessed through the Binus network. Yeah, so it means when you're running later for the demo, you can try to access the just to try the graphics working. Yeah, but in the future for the deploy one, yeah, of course you need to have like a proper graphics. But for now, for the demo purpose, you can utilize our service. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
And to run reset, to run is very on the GPU and all of those, right? Is there like way, how do they usually optimize them?
Okay, yeah, so LLM is very CPU heavy, yes. In fact, there are, so people have been talking about trying to make LLM more efficient in the use of GPUs, right? But so far, so far we don't have any, there's no way around it. So if you're talking about training, right? Training an LLM, you need a massive amount of GPUs. You need massive amount of GPUs, and in fact, I can share with you an article. So when DeepSeek first came out, right? So they were saying that DeepSeek was being trained on like 1/10 of the price of ChatGPT. But it turns out, when people actually dig further, it's actually not true. Because it's just, what you consider as training or post-training, pre-training, in the end, it is still very expensive. So there's no way around it. And that's why even all these people like Elon Musk, they're still building GPU farms like nobody's business, right? So like very, very large GPU farms, because at least at the moment there is no way around. There is no way to get around this requirement for large GPU compute. So it is still like that. I can send you the article by the CEO of Anthropic on DeepSeek and why DeepSeek is it is still the same. It is still lying within the normal curve of GPU computation. Yeah. So no way around it just yet. And still need GPUs. Very good question. Very good question.
Any other
questions?
or maybe comments? All good? So maybe I have one last question.
Yes, please. Help.
Okay, so I don't know if it can help you for your current project or not, but my question is based on your experience because this industry perspective, yeah. So I would like to know what is your suggestion about the AI features that can be implemented for their scenario final project, which is on ticketing and health desk system. So what kind of AI things that we can implement for the system?
Yeah. Oh, this is a very good topic. Huh? So I think there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you can implement from the very basic to the very advanced. So let's say I will give you the very basic example. Very basic example is like this. You put up a chat interface. You give it some context about your particular scenario, right? Each of you have got your own group, your scenario, and you let ChatGPT answer. So like this, for example, okay, you're a hospital help desk. The hospital open from this time to this time. The pricing is as follows. The name of the doctors are blah 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 blah. Then, for example, so you can give this general context into the LLM, right? So that when the user asks about, hey, I'm having a stomach ache, who is the best gastroenterologist in your hospital? Then you get a very natural sounding answer, right? Like from ChatGPT. So you say, okay, the best gastroenterologist person is Dr. somebody, instead of the Billy. Okay, so that's the most basic. Why is it the most basic? It's because all the users of the help desk will share the same context, right? The context, although the context is already very specific to your hospital. If you want to go a step further, which is slightly a bit more difficult to code, but I don't think it is much more difficult, is you can give the context to ChatGPT specific to the user. So let's say you have a user list, right? You have a user 1, user 2, user 3, and you know, let's say in the context of a hospital, you know user 1 has gone through has got diarrhea already, he has a cardiac problem, he's got diabetes. The user 2 is a young man, he likes to play sport, he break a bone, you know. User 3, let's say, oh, he's an old lady, you know. So depending on the user, you give the context to the LLM depending on the user. So you see, so now it's not just contextual to your hospital or to the company or to your use case, but it is even more, it is contextual to even at a user level. So you see, because the prompt just now, right, the context that I'm giving it to the LLM is just textual. So I can put it wherever. So let's say user A logs in, I'm the old lady who has got diabetes, I've got heart problem. So this thing should be told to the LLM that, hey, this user has got this medical condition, blah, 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 blah. So that when the LLM answer, the LLM will answer with that in mind, right? That, you know, hey, this user has got a medical problem, it's got this medical history, this user has seen this particular doctor before, blah, blah, blah. So things like this. So you see how now, so you make your app more interesting by customizing it to your different users. So that the recommendation that the app gives is also very specific to the different users. So this is one example. You know, by customizing your app to the different users. So I mean this is one way you can do it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think you already have got some idea, yeah, how to implement the AI database for the cat. Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there any question before I close it? Last one question, maybe.
Any more questions? Yeah.
I guess not as a competition. So we like what we very much over here. I prepare for the things of our us for career person.
What's good for that? Yeah, this is a very, very good question. Very, very good question. And it's a very important question because now, you know, a lot of people are coding using vibe coding, it's all English, but so what I will suggest is for you guys to really learn the fundamentals, to learn the fundamentals well, to learn how things work, even if it sounds boring now, but these are the things that will HTTP, for example, how does HTTP work? What is the difference between TCP and UDP? These are the kind of stuff that is very fundamental that you think are like, oh, it's not so useful, but because the upper layer of all of this can already be abstracted through an AI. These are the things that becomes even more useful. Because sometimes you don't know, like you will be surprised that let's say somebody you become a software consultant. Now I tell you that okay, I want to create a network of 1,000 CCTV. You see, so now the question will be like, okay, but CCTV is producing a lot of data, right? Okay, maybe CCTV that is doing real-time scanning of how many people there are in the airport, for example. So, okay, see, the requirement is very lofty, but it will come down to very basic things, like, for example, if you want to use 1,000 CCTV with real-time real-time prediction, do you use TCP or UDP? You know, these are the kind of stuff you need to know, right? I mean, if you use TCP, things will be very slow because you know, there's a lot of handshakes happening, but you know, but what are the trade-off? But if you use UDP, yeah, things will be very fast, but may not be so secure. You know, things like this. So knowing the basics, I think, is very important. So that's why things like this, and then security. So you know, a good aspect of security, passwords, encryption, even on certificates, for example. Why do we need to use certificates? Why do I need to use HTTPS instead of HTTP? So things like these are the fundamental things that becomes very, very important. So yeah, so I would suggest learning the fundamental well. You know, the basic computer science concepts, and also logic, you know, learning how to, you know, your algorithm, you know, at least, so that you know logic quite well. So this, and also, but also still keeping ourselves abreast with the latest technology, right? With the latest in terms of AI. So you know the fundamental, but you also know the cutting edge, you know, the AI stuff. What is it currently able to do? Because things like this, I'm sure very many, you know, if I don't introduce it just now, you know, how many of you have used Gemini? Not very many, but you see now hopefully I open your horizon and hey, there's this thing called Gemini, there's this thing called Notebook LM. So yeah, so having the fundamentals right, but also keeping abreast with the latest technology. Then you can figure out you know where you can position yourself and your capabilities in your market. Yeah, something like this. Okay. Very good question.
Okay, maybe if I can add, but this is very, very quick question.
Yeah.
It's important for you to understand why you still sitting here and learn about computer science. Yeah. So again, when everyone has like a care about this kind of technology, yeah, and then the question is, well, like the analogy that I mentioned before about the knife. So, are you going to use this as a tools or your replacement, right? So, if you're using as your replacement, of course, you can be replaced. It means you don't have to learn anything, automatically you will be replaced. But if you want to know your features, so it means you need to use this kind of technology as tools that you can use properly. Yeah, I agree with what Victor mentioned before about foundation. Similar, like you cannot count. You cannot walk like 1,000 steps before you can walk first step, right? So maybe in the aspect of technology now, of course, it makes your life easier. However, when there's like problems comes, like a complaint or things that are not running well, if you don't know how to identify the problem, how to solve those, of course, you will lose. By learning about the foundation, by learning about how it works, yeah, and now you are in computer science, or you are expecting to be, have like design thinking or knowing about the process. So you are not only using the tools, but you are also creating tools. So it means you will become one higher level than the tool. Get it? Yeah. So that is the thing that you need to think. Yeah. And don't afraid about the futures. Like for example, you will be replaced with AI. Get it? Yeah. Don't forget the basic, learn the process, and utilize the AI as tools that can help you. But that's two different things. Okay? Good. Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's enough, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so any applause for Victor? Thank you so much because you preparing the movie ticket. Yeah, oh, right. You guys lucky because this morning class doesn't have the movie ticket. All right. So before I close today's session, of course I would like to say thank you so much for Pak Victor, and of course the rest of you. Yeah. Of course, like I said, the guest lectures always bring the information and the latest things about industry perspective. Yeah, which is actually important for you because you know the gap between the education and the industry is quite far. In when you graduate from universities, maybe you will find that okay, the things that you learn from university is big different with the one that's being implemented in industry. That's why in Binus we try to bring a lot of guest lectures from industry to give you information and perspective what happened actually in that. Yeah. All right. So to make sure that you already absorb a lot of information for today's session, okay, maybe some of you already noticed that I already create assignments for week 7. So you can go to week 7. Week 7. Okay, so alright, so this is assignment, yeah, for week 7, which is actually only have one question, yeah. So the question is related with the topic today. So I would like you to summarize, create an essay, yeah, about the topic that already been discussed by our guest lectures, yeah. So there's no reference required, only the things that you remember from the to the topic, yeah. Of course, there's like requirement for that. Like for example, minimum is 1,500 words. 1,500, 1,500. Yeah, 1,500 words, and the deadline will be tonight. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah. Of course, if you cannot achieve that, well, you just need to find the to see the rubrics, yeah. I mean, to get like maximum score, that is the minimum requirement. Of course, the important thing is you submit. If you not submit anything, of course you miss the chance to get a score. Yeah. Good. All right. Any question about the assignment? Any question or complaint about the assignment? No. Okay, so I just would like to remind you about the quiz and the assignment from week 5, yeah? For the assignment week 5, you already have like 2 weeks time, so I'm expecting that you already submitted by today, yeah? Even though the deadline still tonight, yeah? And also for the quiz, yeah? So please make sure that you're already done. So the quiz is already start from last week. I also already gave you extra 1 day because the quiz already open till Monday. Yeah, so I'm expecting that you already submitted this one. Okay, but if you haven't done it yet, that's your fault. Okay, and remember, please submit because if you submit something, there's a score for that. Yeah, if you late, don't wait until the due date, yeah, because you know sometimes the submission or the connection error and you cannot submit it, like for example 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the deadline. It always happens. Yeah, so I don't want you to lose your chance because there will be no excuses. Yeah, I won't open the submission anymore. Yeah. Okay, so back again to the assignment for week 7. Are you guys have a question or a complaint maybe about it? No? No? No, yeah. I think 1,500 is not really a lot, yeah. Yeah, especially there is no, I mean like you can use ChatGPT to help you, but you need to rephrase a bit to make sure that zero AI tools. Okay. All right. So if there's no question, I think that's all for today. Again, thank you so much. Hopefully you absorb a lot of things because there's a lot of topics that we discussed already. Yeah. And I'm sure.